Good evening and welcome live to tonight's show. My name is Fintan Cullen. We do the show every Saturday. Welcome to Let's Talk. Tonight's show is very, very different. Tonight we are talking about the Lost Pickering boys, which is on screen for you now. Now I'll get to that in a couple of minutes' time. We have Linda and Denise, my special guests, who'll be joining me in over 5 minutes. So I want you to stay here with us right now. My guests will be along in just a while. The purpose of tonight's show is to discuss an incident that happened 25 years ago, way back in 1995, in the Pickering area of Canada, where 6 boys went missing. Yes, 6 boys went missing. We've got the full story this evening. Good evening to Debbie Wilson. Good to have you here, and everybody else who's joining from around the world. The information that we give to you this evening are pieces of information that we have garnered from reports from the Pickering area and the Canadian area. So all the reports that we're giving to you tonight are from people associated with the case back then, or people who have written about the case. We've also a couple of snippets from different journalists that have made recordings that we are going to play tonight to give you balance, so as we are not just given the information as we know to hand. I will point out that we reached out to the family via 2 mechanisms, via myself and one of our advocates. Unfortunately, the families are too distressed to come on at this juncture in point of time, and that I can assure you I understand. The point of tonight's show is to give open and honest, frank discussion about what happened during that period of time, which all started on St. Patrick's Day and hours after in 1995 in Pickering, Canada. Tonight, we have invited members of the family to listen to tonight's show. We've also invited members of the police in the Pickering and surrounding areas to listen to this broadcast and to add anything if they feel that it's important. We've also invited local media, radio stations and newspapers from the area. This is to give fair balance. Anyone that has a comment to make will be allowed to make a comment in the comment section, but we won't be reading the comments. However, all of the comments will be addressed after the show. Tonight, I'm going to give my personal opinion during the course and at the end of the show of what I feel about the stories surrounding this case. Not necessarily my opinion about what might have happened to the boys, but I might do that also. But I also have one very unusual theory that I found I have not come across. This theory is not to upset the family in any shape or form. It's just to add another possibility into the story. And that opinion that I will give you at the end of the show, if I'm reminded by our 2 guests tonight, is quite serious and unbelievable. However, it may just well be a part of that story. Before we start, I ask you to please start a watch party right now. If you're a family member and you want people to understand this story, and you want people to talk about your missing children from 1995, now is the time on this live show to share this stream with your friends and family. I would go as far to say, please live stream this on your page tonight. My 2 guests will be coming up very shortly, are international advocates and work with missing person people, families and groups all over the world. I came across this amazing story a couple of weeks ago, and I felt that it is a story that should be told from Europe, where I'm based. So please stay with us. Start your watch party right now. If you are viewing in Ireland and you've got relatives or friends in Canada, please share this to them now. Also, for our listeners all around the world, please share this strange and unusual story with your friends worldwide, in particular in Canada, and in particular the Pickering and surrounding areas. Tonight's show is designed to open people's mind and to spread the story further. Earlier on during the course of this week, I reached out to people on the missing persons page for this group to offer to help promote their GoFundMe page, because apparently this year, maybe with the what's going on with the global pandemic, nobody has donated to the regular GoFundMe page every year. If that is something that the family members want to help out with, our advocates can do that through all our advocates based all over Canada and surrounding areas. We will be only too happy to spread the word on our pages, the pictures of your missing loved one and children, so as your GoFundMe can get kick-started. Jimmy Longdon and so many other people, thank you so much for being here. Right now, while I'm waiting for Linda and Denise, who are dialing up now to come live on the show, I would like to invite you folks, please start your watch party right now. This is probably one of the most important shows I've ever held, and I want everybody to be part of this show tonight. So please start your watch party right now as we wait for Linda and Denise, who are joining us from an undisclosed destination around the world, because they're advocates currently involved in live cases. So folks, you'll understand why I don't tell you where they are based. I do know they're going to be calling us in a couple of moments time. Please stay with us. I hope your watch party is underway. We're just about to start. Please put your friends' names in the comment section. That's your friends' names in the comment section. And if you're a first timer, please put the words first timer. Say hi to Maureen Tresk. Hello from Pushlinch, Ontario, Canada. I'm an advocate for families with missing loved ones with life experience. Thank you so much for that, Maureen. Thank you so much for being here. We're just waiting for Linda and Denise to join us on the show tonight. Please stay with us. If they don't join us in a moment, I will try and get one of them on the phone. So please be here and bear with us. Thank you so much for everybody being here. We're going to start the show properly in a moment. Just let me see if I can dial up Linda, and if Linda can get back to me. If there's a technical issue, we'll have to start the show. But I want Linda and Denise on because they have additional information that they want to read out on tonight's show. So I ask you to please bear with me. While we're waiting on this to happen, while we're waiting for Linda and Denise to join me, I ask you to start your watch party right now. And if you've anything that you want to do with us, or anything that you'd like to add, remember, please make a comment down below. Okay, I see that Linda is live and she's online, so please bear with me. If I don't get Linda this time, I will keep going, start the show and keep going and read as much information out as I possibly can. But bear with me, it could be a technical issue that we are having. So just hang on one second, folks. I'm trying to dial up Linda right now. Welcome to the families, if the families are here. Tonight we hope to give additional input, and if the police are joining us from Pickering, it's great to have you guys here also. So let me dial up Linda and see if we can get her live on the show for you now. I may need to start, and then we may need to get Linda to join us a little bit later on. So please bear with me while I call up right now. Thanks to everybody from being here from all around the world and to our people here in Ireland. Okay, we seem to have difficulty, bear with me, in getting through. We're having difficulty at the moment in getting through. Let's see if I can send a message to our friend Linda. This is what we call a technical issue, folks. If I don't get these ladies on board right now, I will start the show in earnest. Maybe they'll be able to get back to me in a few minutes' time. So let me try one more time, and then we'll get straight into the story. My guests are from overseas. I'm doing the show from here in Europe tonight. We won't waste any more time after this. Please bear with us while we try and dial up tonight's guest. Okay, folks, we're having an issue there, so please bear with us. We start with tonight's show, okay? Please open the very, very top link. If the ladies could join us, we'll get them to join us a little bit later on. So I ask you to please open the show for the link for the show tonight. The top link is the link that opens up for the show, okay? These 6 boys all disappeared on the same night from Pickering in Canada in 1995. They are Chad Smith, Danny Higgins, Jay Boyle, Jamie Lefebvre, Michael Cummins, and Robbie Rumbold. Okay? They all disappeared together. At the time, they were aged somewhere between 16 and 18 years old. There's lots of information in relation to this case. If you are in the event page, please feel free during or after the show to open up any of the links and take a look at what's actually written in there. Okay, so we've got lots of information there for you. I'm going to read some of this information now. I'm going to stop at 1 or 2 points to play some recording information from some other people who set out to do a story on this particular case. Okay, so let me start off. On the late evening of March 17th, 1995, after spring break party which included copious amounts of alcohol, 6 teenage boys from Pickering, Ontario left the party. That was the last time they were ever seen. Witnesses and evidence suggests the boys went down to the beach looking for adventure. Once there, they may have stolen a 4-meter imitation Boston Whaler motorboat and a 3-wheeled paddle boat from separate marinas on Frenchman's Bay. Now, listen to that carefully. Once there, they may have stolen. Okay? May have. I'm going to read on because that's contradicted later on. Then it is believed they headed out for a joyride on the cold, icy waters of the lake without life jackets. Before they left at around 12:50 a.m. on Friday, the boys told a friend they were going to goof around on a boat. The boys were all students and friends at a local high school. They included Jay Boyle, Michael Cummins, Daniel Higgins, Chad Smith, Robbie Rumbold, and James Lefebvre. Their pictures are also featured, folks, in many of the discussions in the discussion section of the event page, which you can find by clicking on the top link. The only evidence of the boys' fate included at 1:48 a.m. a surveillance camera caught 3 of the boys, Michael, Jamie, and Robbie, entering East Shore Marina somewhere between 2:30 and 3 a.m. Some local residents heard the sound of a motorboat out on the lake, and finally the next morning 2 boats were reported stolen from 2 marinas. Okay, what's not strange about that is, surely it's not strange to hear boats out on the lake from a marina. Surely That happens all the time. The police believe the boats capsized and hypothermia gripped the boys within minutes. The boys were first reported missing by worried girlfriends on Friday. The police did not treat their concerns seriously until Saturday afternoon when they connected the boys to the missing boats. Okay, first and foremost here, how did they connect the boys to the missing boats? If the boys were seen on camera stealing the boats, why weren't the authorities contacted immediately? And why would the authorities, the police, not go out onto the lake and look for these boats if these boats were stolen? Just think about that for a moment. By 2 p.m. Saturday, 36 hours after the boys were last seen, a massive search was underway. Durham police were joined by the Toronto Police Marine Unit, the Coast Guard, Hercules C-130 aircraft, and a helicopter from the Air Sea Rescue Unit at Canadian Forces Base in Trenton. Incidentally, those police forces were asked to participate in tonight's show. They found nothing. Thousands of volunteers from across southern Ontario then joined the hunt, but no bodies, no boats, no pieces of clothing. The only item on the lake was a gas can belonging to the Boston whaler. Now, on a piece of clip footage that I'm going to play for you in a while, I mean, really, seriously, how accurate could it be, this container? What happened to the boys? Why was no personal evidence of their fate ever found? Was there some sort of pact between the boys? Was there foul play? Did the boys actually die? Or has there been an elaborate plot to just disappear? These questions and many more have never been answered. Okay, let's work on that theory. Was there a pact between the boys? One of the boys, as we know, had just become a father. It's pretty unlikely that he's going to make a pact. Also, statistics say for that volume of people, it's very unusual for 6 males to agree and make a pact on anything, especially as it would hit on their families and loved ones so hard. So I find that pact situation rather strange. Was there foul play? There's always opportunity for foul play. Were they involved or known to the police? Were they asked to take drugs anywhere? Because drugs is a big area. I'm only asking, were they? Were they bribed or coerced? Were they threatened? Or were their family threatened if they didn't carry out instructions from somebody else in the area, where they told their family could be hurt or even killed? Did the boys actually die, or was there an elaborate plot to just disappear? I don't believe there was an elaborate plot. For 6 people to all agree is very, very strange. Why didn't the police on that night back in 1995 in Pickering, why, if they were supposed to know that these boys or some of these boys were supposed to have stolen boats, why didn't the police arrive? Why didn't the police go out to sea to find at least the missing boats? And is it possible, because some of the boys had trouble or history in their past, that the police decided to leave them to their own devices and to let the elements deal with them? I wonder how the police at the time dealt with this case. During my research, and while I called the Pickering police station, I called the Pickering police station and I wanted to know quite a bit of information. I was passed on from the Durham police switch to the Pickering station, from where a very sarcastic young police lady answered the phone, questioned me, and asked why did I want to know what happened to those boys, and she did not even know about the case. Can you imagine that? She had no idea about the case, which I found very strange. I spoke to a gentleman by the name of Hawk, a police officer, who wasn't there during the time of that case, but he remembered it really well. I did push him very, very hard for information. I believe if he had any additional information, he would have given that to me. I believe that. I believe his heart is in the right place. I believe also in all the people that I have encountered that, even though not connected with the family, are not connected with that case directly, that he felt the pain of the family and of the young lads that went missing. So I would like to thank that officer in Pickering, the only person who has offered to help with tonight's show. I'm going to move along. I'm going to read some more. And what about the location? The East Shore Marina is adjacent to the Pickering nuclear facility. To get into Lake Ontario, the Frenchman's Bay, the boys would have had to literally pass the plant. The Lost Boys of Pickering is truly a mystery of Canada. Thanks, Ruben Ben McGee, for bringing this story to our attention. That's the mysteries of Canada. Folks, we're still waiting. Let's hope Linda and Denise, or Linda or Denise, can call us right now to take part in tonight's show, as they may have some additional information that they may like to give. Now, folks, I'm going to play some information for you to listen to, okay? The first bit of information is coming from a family of one of the lost boys fight for National Missing Persons Day. So please listen as we check this piece of footage out. You will be able to hear it. Please listen carefully.
He went missing a month before my 13th birthday.
It's been 22 years since Siobhan Boyle's 17-year-old brother disappeared. She and her 3 sisters remember the good times.
You beat him that one time? Yes, I did. It's been hard. It's almost like you're living in like a fog.
It was March 1995 when Jay Boyle and 5 of his friends went out for a night of partying. It's believed they stole 2 boats from the East Shore Marina here at Frenchman's Bay. Then they went out into the cold waters of Lake Ontario, never to be seen again. They were dubbed the Lost Boys because no amount of searching ever resulted in their discovery. All that was found was a gas can near Wilson, New York. It came from one of the stolen boats.
These families deserve justice.
The Boyle sisters are now fighting for a National Missing Persons Day for their brother and every other family of a missing loved one. A petition is circulating online and will be presented to Parliament in the fall.
A day to put all their names and faces back in the spotlight. Just that one day even.
The latest RCMP numbers suggest 71,000 people went missing in 2015 alone. That same year, Ottawa passed Lindsay's Law in honor of a missing BC girl, which created a national DNA-based missing persons index. The Boyles hope on Missing Persons Day, additional resources would be available to support families and ensure they submit DNA, like New York City does every year.
I didn't even know that my brother's DNA was being submitted, like that it wasn't even asked for.
And potentially bring closure to families.
It gives you a day where publicity is going to go out, where people are more aware of people coming missing, more, maybe we could have tip lines and various things that would help get more cases solved.
For all you know, it could be your missing loved one, but if you haven't submitted their DNA, you'll never know.
Without any answers, the Boyle sisters lean on each other and their memories of Jay to move forward. Karen Lieberman, Global News.
Thanks to Carmen Lieberman from Global News and to the Boyle sisters for that report. Tonight, folks, if you've just joined, we are talking about a mystery that has been unsolved for years. We're talking about the Lost Boys of Pickering. And just to tell you who these Lost Boys are, we will tell you right now. If you've just joined from the Canada area, please stay here with us. We're doing tonight's show on the Lost Boys of Pickering. If you click on the top link, folks, please start a watch party, then click on the top link. In the top link, you will see quite a few features that are in the show tonight. I won't have time to get through them all, but there's quite a few there. I'll read down through them now so you'll understand. Okay, the Lost Boys of Pickering are Chad Smith, Danny Higgins, Jay Boyle, Jamie Lefebvre, Michael Cummins, and Robbie Rumvold. Okay, these boys all went missing on the same night, St. Patrick's Night, back in 1995 from Pickering in Canada. Click on the top link and you'll see there stories. Family of one of the lost boys fights for National Missing Persons Day. Watch that video online. Also, episode 7, The Lost Boys of Pickering, Ontario, by Never Found, Never Forgotten podcast. Also, The Lost Boys on YouTube. That's another video you may like to think of and check out there. The youtube.com, The Bizarre Disappearance of the Lost Boys. I'll be taking a clip for that in just a couple of moments time for you. Also, Unsolved Mass Disappearances. That's another YouTube video. If you want to watch the whole thing, please click on that. I will be taking a clip from that also in a couple of minutes time. Mystery Monday, The Lost Boys of Pickering. Again, a YouTube where this young girl has done another very interesting and exciting, as far as I'm concerned, video on this particular story. Then, The Mystery of the Lost Boys Part 1. That's in the event story. Check that out. 20 years later, The Lost Boys Mystery Remains, from thestar.com. That's thestar.com. I'm going to read for that in a moment. The Lost Boys of Pickering is in tonight's event page 2, part 2. Please click on that. The Lost Boys of Pickering in 1995, Lake Ontario. Please bear with us as we're getting a call in now from Denise. So just bear with me 1 second while we get Denise to join us. We'll see if Linda is with her. Bear with us, folks. We're waiting for the internet to fold over so we can get Denise on the show. The call has in fact ended, so we're going to call back, see if I can get Denise on the show. Folks, please start your watch party right now. Hi, Denise.
Hello.
You're live.
Hi, how are you?
You're live on air.
Hi, how are you doing?
Are you on your own?
Yes, I am.
Okay, the reason I'm asking that is Linda must be having technical issues, is she?
I believe so. I've been trying to get a hold of her so I can get both of us to join on the call, but I could not reach her, so I apologize.
No, that's fine. We'll move from here. Do you have something that you would like to read out? Because I know as an advocate, you and Linda have been studying the case all week. Have you got something, Linda, you'd like to read out from any particular article?
I wasn't really wanting to read something, but I did have a lot of questions in regards to this case with the boys. About the dive is my biggest concern. Was there ever a dive done? And how far was the searches? Because that is very limited information that I could find.
Apparently, I'm going to get on to that in a couple of minutes. I have some footage to play. Apparently, there was quite an extensive search, but according to what information I have ascertained and I've learned this week, the search only lasted a 24-hour period. Now that's what I am hearing from anything that I have researched. What have you come across, Denise?
That is the same thing I have researched too. It was only a very short time. 24 hours is not a lot to be searching for a missing person, including 6 missing persons. So that was the biggest concern that I had, was the time of the search and the depth of the search too. It's very limited information on that. I would love to know more about that, or have somebody answer those questions, because those families, they deserve answers.
Well,
So
They do. I just want to elaborate on something, Denise, because I'm getting messages in here from Debbie, which is a pity Debbie couldn't come on the show. I did invite family members to come in on the show. Debbie is a relative.
Okay.
Debbie wanted to know, who are these people? These people are advocates, Debbie. They look after missing people all over the world and are very successful. That's who they are. That's why they're on the show, because Pickering Police and your local police station refused to come on. So that's why they're here, Debbie. Also, somebody saying not in March. The articles that we're reading, this is Debbie, is saying not in March. I don't know what not in March means. All the articles that we've been reading from the press, Debbie, have spoken about March. Also, Debbie, you say the lake was frozen. From what we gather and from what has been researched by lots of people back then, that lake does not freeze because it's 800 feet deep, apparently. Okay, now even if the lake was frozen, that's no reason to give up a search. Okay, lake was frozen according to Debbie, but Debbie, all of the reports that we've got say online that it wasn't. Then also Debbie is saying only one boat. Okay, so only one boat, correct? And if that was only one boat, Debbie, if they supposedly stole one boat, why weren't they followed out? This is one thing, Denise. Why, if they were so-called seen robbing a boat, surely the people that so-called saw this would have reported and the police would have been out immediately. What do you think?
No, I agree. I thought that it was caught on a video camera, is from what I read, and they had seen not all the boys, but some of the boys on the video camera. So did they pick up the boys and the other boys in another location? You do read mixed information about two boats. That was where I was concerned.
Yes, apparently it was picked up on camera. But if that was picked up on camera, right, let's say an actual person didn't see them. Usually people that live beside a marina are very cautious of their boats, okay? Boats are expensive items. But also one of the other things, it seems to me very strange, where people seem to be surprised that there was a boat out on the lake at that time of night. That's rubbish. Why would you be surprised with somebody being out on a boat from a bloody marina? So that makes no sense to me. That serves no purpose. Your opinion on that, Linda? Sorry, Denise?
Yes. No, I agree with that. I question why were the authorities not notified immediately? If I would see something or hear something in the middle of the night at that time of the night, I would be concerned. I would first check on that and see what is going on and call the authorities. So that puzzles me there. I wasn't sure if the family had answers on that, or if the people who saw this or seen the video, why was it so long for the authorities to be notified?
Yes, very strange. I have a comment coming in here. Just bear with me one moment. It's from a lady who's an advocate in Canada. Nice to meet you, Maureen Trask. I haven't had the pleasure. She says here, if police are on this call, unfortunately they're not, Maureen, they were asked to be. I'd like to ask them to explain why none of these boys are on the Canada's Missing public website.
Oh, that's huge. I did not, I was trying to find information on that and I couldn't find it either. That is huge. If they're missing, why are they not reported as missing?
Okay, Debbie Wilson is saying she'd like to call. Debbie, the only way you can call is to call me from the link that I sent you earlier on. That's the only way you can call in. I may be able to get you on the line, but it will take a couple of minutes, so you'll need to bear with me. I want you on the show. I'd love to have you on the show. Please bear with us while we see if that can happen. Okay? But I want to play another bit of information from one of the pages that we had dealt with. This report is from a young gentleman who I can't see now, so I can't accredit the file to him. His name was there, but if he needs to be accredited, I can do that at a later stage. But I'm going to play this little piece. It's a short piece of footage. I invite everyone that's listening now to please listen very carefully, and we've more footage to play. Here we go. Please listen carefully.
In April of 1998, large grates at the Sir Adam Beck hydroelectric generating station in Queenston, near the Niagara River, were cleaned for the first time in 7 years. Workers discovered 2 sets of remains stuck in them. One of them was surrounded by a pair of red jeans. Jay Boyle was believed to have been wearing a pair of red Levi jeans the night he vanished. When Jay's sister Amanda found the report of these remains, she began pushing for police to investigate the possibility that Jay had finally been located. It would take several years, a few controversies, and several advances in technology before DNA finally proved that the remains were not Jay's in December 2018. The families of the 6 boys continued to gather at Lake Ontario on St. Patrick's Day to mark each anniversary of the boys' disappearances. In 2007, 27-year-old Chantel McDougall lived just outside of Nannup, a small town in Western Australia, with her 45-year-old partner, Simon Cadwell, their 6-year-old daughter Leela, and family friend Tony Popich.
Sorry, that's different. So we're just going to continue on here. That's interesting about the jeans. The red jeans were found. Did you read much on that, Denise, or shall I fill you in?
Yes, I read on the red jeans, and I did also see this information that it was determined that it was not his jeans. So, was those boys, I could not find anything on the person those jeans belonged to. Were they noted as missing too? Because I could not find that information.
Not only that, but they made the family, Denise, believe this or not, they made the family wait 4 years before they disclosed this information.
Which is disturbing, because I think that families deserve to be notified if something comes up. They never need to hear rumors. They need to hear the truth as it goes along.
Yeah, absolutely. Bear with me while we play another piece, and after this next piece, I'm going to see if I can dial in Debbie Wilson. Debbie, it's going to be very difficult for me to try to get you live online now, but I will do my absolute best. Understand that we were speaking earlier on during the week looking for people to come on, so I did my best earlier on during the week. I'm known for being very fair, but I will try and get you on. Let's take a listen to another piece from Stephanie Harlow, a YouTube investigator.
By now, on April 10th, 1998, 3 years later, 2 sets of human remains were recovered from the Niagara River near the intake channel for Sir Adam Beck Hydro Generating Station in Niagara Falls. One set of remains was just bones, but the second set is what we're interested in the purposes of this case, because some of the clothes were still intact. The report from law enforcement officials who were first on scene described the clothing as red Levi Strauss denim jeans with a size 32 waist and a 31 inseam, a dark brown belt, white athletic socks with a red, white, and blue stripe, and a black wallet that was empty. Now, according to Jay Boyle's mother, Patricia, before her son went missing, she purchased him 2 pair of Levi's jeans. One pair was green and the other was red. On the day he went missing, Jay was wearing this pair of jeans. He's pictured here wearing this pair of jeans, so we know for a fact, we have evidence, that he owns a pair of red Levi jeans. And when his sister was shown a picture of the belt, she said it looked like Jay's belt. At first, these 2 cases were not connected, but eventually the discovery of these remains did come to the attention of Jay's family and Bruce Ricketts, and they requested that the Durham police investigate to see if these remains could possibly be the missing boy. Detective Sheridan of the Durham Regional Police refused to pursue the lead, claiming that the cost would be too high, and he didn't believe that a body which started in Lake Ontario could end up in the Niagara River. The only problem is the police had no idea where Jay and his friends went into the water, if they even did at all. There is no proof or evidence that those 6 boys drowned in the lake that night. So Jay's family offered to pay for the DNA testing, and Ricketts sent a request for information to the Niagara police on December 16th of 2013. Now, according to Ricketts, he has never had such trouble obtaining information from a police department as he did at this point with the Niagara police. Truthfully, it's not as easy in Canada as it is in the US to gain police files through the Freedom of Information Act, but it's still pretty much unheard of to have to jump through as many hoops as Ricketts was asked to jump through in order to get these remains so they could be tested. Now, I'll read Ricketts' exact words when talking about this. He said, quote, "The case numbers used were OPP case numbers, as those were the only identifiers available to this investigator at that time." OPP stands for Ontario Provincial Police. The description...
Sorry folks, we've lost that, but we get the general idea from there. Just bear with me 1 second. I want to make sure it's not going to come on again.
of the case specified date and location of the unidentified remains. The response to this ATI contained the following statement: "This request is an OPP matter and was refused. This investigator contacted the OPP Missing Persons Unit and was told that the OPP case number was merely an identifier for their database and that the case was indeed owned by NRP."
Now, folks, that's an interesting scenario, Denise. Imagine, first of all, the police need to understand and know one thing. Police worldwide, when you're working with advocates, need to understand one thing. One, it's not your goddamn money when it comes to doing investigations. Two, you have a duty of care, which doesn't involve a figure and dollar sum. So how dare any prosecutors or police authorities, or anybody else for that matter, hold a monetary amount over people's heads when it comes to missing people? How dare they? I'm working with groups all over the States and Canada to make this happen and change. Your comment on what you've just heard, Denise?
No, that is, I can't imagine what the families were thinking when they were told that. I can't. Having a missing person in my family myself, you're already going through enough. And to get that information, that's unbelievable.
Yes, it's shocking. Just bear with me 1 second while I will try and see if I can get hold of Debbie Wilson. We don't normally do this live on the show, folks, because it's just very, very difficult to do. But let's see if I can at this moment. I am going to find this very difficult to do. Just bear with me 1 second. I won't be able to spend too much time looking, but let me see. Okay, Debbie Wilson, just bear with me 1 second. Okay. Debbie, I need you to send me a friend request on my page, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to talk to you. If you can do that, I'll be able to get you on. I'm not able to see your current picture. 1 second. Is that it there? Just one moment. While I try and browse through this. No, it's not. Okay, so maybe Debbie, you could do that. I'm going to read another piece. Can you stay with me, Denise?
Absolutely.
Great. I'm just going to open up another piece and read this for you. Just for the record, Denise is an advocate of note, currently working on many live cases throughout the United States. I had Denise, the pleasure under unfortunate circumstances of having Denise on a show a couple of weeks ago where we were searching for her nephew, Toby, who disappeared over 30 years ago. So I'm glad that she's able to join us on the show tonight. Now I'm just going to read some additional information for those that have joined late. If you have joined late, I want to recap on some of the stuff that we've discussed. 6 lost boys of Pickering in 1995, Lake Ontario. In what became a fateful headline, the lost boys of Lake Ontario and the unsolved case of multiple missing persons has left many questions unanswered for nearly 25 years. Pickering, Ontario, 1995. After leaving a neighbourhood basement party on a cold night, a group of 6 teenage boys who had been drinking headed out for some clandestine goofing around. Now, this is what the papers say. Nobody knows what the boys did, so I find that annoying. 3 of the boys were last seen on surveillance footage breaking into Frenchman's Bay Marina and stealing a Boston Whaler replica. Right, a Boston Whaler replica. Boston Whalers are supposed to be unsinkable, but a replica, I'm sure, could sink. While a water pedal aqua bike was also stolen nearby, I have yet to track down the make and model of that. So that was the article. No evidence of the boys, nor any evidence of either vessel has ever been found, except for one item, a single gas container found in the water near Wilson, New York, which had been stowed on one of the stolen boats. Now, how do we know that? Your guess is as good as mine. The missing boys: 17-year-old Jay Pickering, 18-year-old Chad Smith Pickering, 17-year-old Robbie Rumbold Pickering, 17-year-old Jamie Lefebvre Scarborough, 17-year-old Michael Cummins Oshawa, and 17-year-old Danny Higgins from Ajax. They disappeared back in 1995, and apparently nobody knows anything. As I've been doing this type of show for years, we all know, just bear with me, this is in fact Debbie calling in. Denise, you may get cut off, but hang on there till we see.
Okay.
Hang on there till we see. Debbie, I need you to call back, please. We had you there and you didn't stay on the line long enough. Can you please call back? Okay, I think she's going to try. If you get cut off, we will speak to you later. Denise, thank you for being here. You may not get cut off, but let's see. Will we get the boys back?
Okay.
I'm going to try live from the page here. I don't know whether it'll affect the page. I think it will. No, it makes me leave. If I do that, I'll leave the page. Can you please, Debbie Wilson, can you please call back? I was unable to answer because it didn't ring for me long enough. So can you please ring back? We'll just wait a moment, Denise, to see if we can get any call back from Debbie Wilson. Right, she's not calling back just yet. Can you stay with us, Denise?
Yes, as long as you need me, I'll stay.
Okay, we've got about another 10 or 15 minutes of the show, so I'm going to play another clip. And this is from Daniel Robert on YT. Okay, Daniel Robert, a young reporter on YouTube. We've got a couple of minutes from him here. Debbie, if you can ring after this piece of recording, please. Okay, so let's play it for you all right now.
At 1:48 a.m., about an hour after the boys left the party, a security camera recorded Michael, Robbie, and Jamie entering a marina at the end of Liverpool Road. The boys were believed to have stolen a 4-meter imitation Boston whaler and a 3-wheeled paddle boat. The Boston whaler was equipped with a 25 horsepower motor, a half-full gas can, and there were no life jackets on either of the boats. An interesting fact to note is that friends of the boys said that some of them went joyriding the night before on the same paddle boat. They rode it out to a channel marker where Frenchman's Bay gives way to the lake. They then returned it to the marina, but they did not tie it up. So there is a possibility that they actually just took out the Boston whaler and that the paddle boat was already missing. So between 2:30 and 3 a.m., some residents nearby heard a motorboat out on the lake. The next morning, the 2 boats were reported stolen. The boys were reported missing by their girlfriends the night they disappeared, but police did not treat it seriously until Saturday afternoon when they connected the boys to the 2 missing boats. By 2 p.m. Saturday, which was 36 hours after the boys disappeared, a massive search went underway to find them. And it really was an impressive search. Durham police were joined by the Toronto Police Marine Unit, the Coast Guard, a Hercules C-130 aircraft, and a helicopter from the Air Sea Rescue Unit. Tons of volunteers from across southern Ontario also joined the hunt, but literally nothing was found. No bodies, no boats, no pieces of clothing. The next day, on March 19th, aerial searchers spotted a water tricycle adrift about 20 kilometers offshore, but rough waters prevented its retrieval. Jay's girlfriend believed it had questionable value to the investigation anyway, since it could have drifted away after the boys' joyride the night before they disappeared. On March 21st, police called off the official search, but private boaters and pilots kept looking for several days, and they found nothing. So the first break in the case happened on March 29th, when a gas can washed ashore near Wilson, New York, about 60 kilometers away from the marina. It bore bilingual markings and a dent that workers at the marina back in Pickering said matched the missing boat. What's really sketchy about this, though, is that a witness said, based on the currents and wind that day, that the gas can should have ended up in Rochester, New York, which is about 120 kilometers away from where the gas can was found.
Now that's an interesting story. Denise, one moment. I believe we have Debbie. Just hang on there till I give her a call. I believe we have Debbie here. Just bear with me while I call. I don't know whether you'll still be able to stay on the call, Denise, but maybe you will. But let's see while I call. I'm calling her right now. Debbie, we're calling you. I understand this could be very difficult for you. You're writing a message, but we're actually trying to call you now. So if you're still listening to the show, you missed my call. I need to call back again. Debbie, please stay off the line. I'm calling you now. Okay, Debbie, it should call for a second. If you are listening, just bear with me for one moment. We're trying to get you in. You are the other side of the world, and the internet is a bit slow, but hang on. Something's happening here. This is Debbie Wilson ringing. Are you there, Denise?
I'm still here.
Okay, thank you. Debbie, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Debbie, I'm so glad we were able to get through to you. I'm sure there's stuff you would like to add.
Yes. Okay. The Boston Whaler was a work boat.
Okay.
That was stolen, and the other boat was a paddle boat.
Okay.
That was taken. So my thing is that how could 6 boys, and these weren't little boys, my nephew was quite big, how did they all fit into this Boston Whaler?
Exactly. How would they all fit in indeed? And more importantly, why would they want to? I mean, let's face it, okay, 6 boys who have girlfriends on Paddy's night. For me, it would make more sense, given the age of the boys, that they'd want to spend the night with the girlfriends. What do you think about that, Debbie?
Yeah, Jay had a little girl at the time.
Yeah, I mean, like going out onto the sea, cold or otherwise. Why would they want to do that? Because it's all hours of the morning. And if they did this, Denise, I'll bring you in just a second. If they actually did this, I don't see the purpose if they were out the night before. Denise, your opinion on guys with their girlfriends on Paddy's night. Why would they leave the girlfriends and go out to sea?
Usually boys don't leave girls, and that's from being a boy mama. And, that I'm surprised, unless it was a dare, or there was more involved. Was there another boat, or was there more kids involved and more going on? Debbie,
No.
Was that something that was ever addressed? Was there any more kids or any more boats within a certain amount of area that was missing?
No, nothing.
So there was just pretty much nothing with their case on just the 3 on the video. Is that correct?
Yes.
Debbie.
Also, okay.
Sorry, no, go ahead, Debbie. Say what you want to say, please.
And when I went across to see the people across the states, they have their own marina there.
Yep.
And their own people. I went over there to see if there was anything they could tell me, right? So Durham police said that they were notified, the states was notified in 72 hours. when I went over there, it was longer than 72 hours that they were notified. Plus, they couldn't get out on the water because the water was rough and the weather was pretty bad that time. And if you looked, it was frozen on the other side.
Okay.
So, like, everybody keeps saying that they went out the boat, Sure, they might have went out the boat, but I don't think they got far. And I don't think there was another boat involved. And I don't think there's any more kids either. Because for all these years, somebody would have said something.
Sure, yes. I mean, I know tonight there's going to be people, Debbie, listening. Are any of your other family members listening this evening, Debbie?
I have no idea.
Do they know that the show's on?
I don't know. They're all away right now. Like my sister Patty
Okay.
and her girls, I think they're away for the day.
Okay. Yeah, the reason we did this show tonight is, one, it sounds very, very odd. I personally believe that something untoward has happened. I do believe people in Pickering know. I believe if this show is released and exposed again on the newspapers that I invited here tonight and on the radio stations that I know are listening, they were sent and were invited, that if this was brought up once again, somebody, I believe, after all this time will come forward. Whether it's anonymous or not, nobody cares. Just if anybody knows something. But what I will tell you, it's very strange to get 6 boys to agree to do anything together. So I don't believe that they were involved in any cult. I don't believe they decided, that's just me personally, I don't believe they all decided to just disappear together and make any kind of pact. I know these days there are suicide pacts, but suicide pacts are very, very rare when it comes to 6 males and 6 individuals together. I don't believe that's a possibility. I do believe that somebody in the Pickering area knows. I know that this show tonight will get to somebody who knows something. So, Denise, before we wrap up this evening, is there anything that you find, well, I'm sure there's things you find strange about the whole thing. Please stay there for a moment, Debbie. Denise, is there something you'd like to add to the conclusion?
Yeah, so I wanna send my my thoughts and prayers to you, Debbie, and your family, because I completely understand. Also, I would also, as an advocate, if you would like to reach out to me and let me help you in any way, I'm more than happy to do a timeline and get a lot of pieces together and do my best, whatever I can. I think a lot of the information that is out there sometimes can get misleading and not correct, and you have so many people searching, so you definitely it needs to be consistent in order to find the missing. So I have a lot of questions that would love to speak to you later on in regards to maybe put some things together that you have answers and you need answers. So I am definitely sensing that you have a lot of more questions regarding both the areas, especially where the gas can was found. And if there were
I was
searches
under
there.
the impression that the gas tank that was found on the other side, that the gentleman that owned the marina where the kids took the boat, he also owned something over there. Marina over there.
Oh, okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? I don't think that gas can, maybe it wasn't out of the boat that the kids were in. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it was from over there. Like
Well,
the guy had a marina there.
Guys,
So
what I think really and truly is it's just convenient that can happen to be found. I don't believe the it has anything whatsoever got to do with the case, and even if it did, it doesn't bear any fruit. It doesn't lead anything further to investigations. Debbie, can I ask you, the girl that we've got on phone now, Denise, is an incredible lady and an advocate for helping people with cases. Would you like me to send her your Facebook page so you can keep in touch?
sure. Absolutely.
I'll do that when the show's over. Denise, I really take Thank you for your time, for stepping out from all the work that you do to join the show tonight. I thank you. I'll speak to you in due course.
My pleasure, absolutely. And Debbie, I'm looking forward to speaking to you.
Yeah, so am I. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Bye for now, Denise.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Debbie, I'm sorry for what's happened to your family. I really am. I hope tonight's show shines a little bit more light. I know 25 years later, an awful lot of family members don't want to deal with it, and that I can understand. The reason that we decided to do this show is I've been a missing persons advocate for over 20 years. I've been involved in cases where people have been found, both alive and deceased. And it really shocked me that 6 young men in the prime of their life in Pickering in Canada could disappear without anybody knowing anything. So I would like to send you my best wishes. Please give my best wishes to your family. And please also, Debbie, if the family want to move forward with a GoFundMe that they are running, please feel free to allow our advocates to know we can give you the kind of push and publicity that you need to gain some funds in relation to that case.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Debbie. Best wishes to you and all your family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Now, folks, that's almost the end of tonight's show. I say almost because it's not quite. I do have another possibility which people might find a bit disturbing and a bit strange. But unless you've lived, worked, and been involved in anything got to do with things from out of this world, you may not understand. Is it possible that these young boys were abducted? I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm not saying that at all. But what I'm saying is, in the age and time was 1995, when so many things happen in the Canadian area in relation to UFOs. Is it possible that that happened? I'd like not to think so. But I would love to know where these boys are. Somebody, somewhere, must know something. Maybe somebody in the Pickering or Durham police station that are now retired may know something and would like to come forward. Maybe somebody from the drug fraternity involved these young boys in something that they did not want to do. Maybe you, as a member of the public that are watching now, or you that are listening to this show, that have heard something that you feel the family or police should know, you can tell the Pickering police in confidence, or you can contact me here directly via private message or email to this show. I'd like to thank everybody that's been here. I'd like to thank all the advocates in Canada who have worked over the years on this case. I'd like to thank advocates worldwide who would like to help with the GoFundMe search for the boys through their families to help continue. I'd like to thank Denise, my good friend, who joined me tonight, who herself understands the situation as she has somebody belonging to her missing for over 30 years. There are people in this world who are here for a reason, and I believe tonight I'm surrounded by people who want to do something in relation to this case. With that being said, I'll finish up by saying thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of tonight's program. And this program is going to be shared on many advocate pages around the world. If you're watching it, please start a watch party and stream it live. Thank you for now, and God bless.